Does your brain warp time?
Does it warp time?
Yes.
I think I'm gonna need more details on this question.
Yeah, no. Does it warp time? It's does it like sometimes you look at the time and then you come back and you're actually like way in the future or 5 minutes back, even though you swear it was 10 seconds.
Well, the first one was just how actual time works. The second one, no, I've never gone backwards in time.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure that like if you leave the room 1 minute and then you come back later, the time will in fact be a different time.
I don't
and
think
it'll be further in the future.
I just disagree. I think time's just being warped, constantly.
So you're saying that time doesn't actually exist. It's just because or you're saying that time exists. It's just not a linear construct. It's moving forward and backwards
Yes.
all the time.
We'll go with that.
Okay. Okay. I mean, some people argue that time is just a construct made up by humanity to explain how things change.
Yeah. Trying to get
It's like
oh, there we are.
it's kind of hard to ignore that possibility also, because it's like, what is time changing? But just like every moment is a snapshot that exists, and then the next snapshot exists. But history is just just like a documented like scrapbook of stuff that has happened already. So it's like, is time actually moving forward, or did something happen and then something happened again, but like at the same moment in time, if everything's cyclical?
I'm fucking you've lost me, bro. I was like lost like 2 minutes ago.
I lost myself for like 4
I was
seconds.
Like, what is
into
he
that
actually fucking
sentence.
talking about, right?
I think I made it 4 seconds.
Deep thoughts by Champ. Yes, Janine.
Mm-hmm,
yes. He's nothing but deep thoughts right now.
That's all I think.
Welcome in, Edward, Troy, Mick, Troy Allen, Gordon, Janine. Thank you for showing up. We got some fucking miserable shit to talk about here in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Should we
I
start
love misery.
should we start with the happy stuff first? Because, damn, it's so miserable that we're only streaming on one platform today because we just didn't want to share misery across 3 different platforms at the same time. That's how bad.
Was that why?
Yeah.
I hope everybody's really excited. This is how we like to start off our podcast to get people hyped up. Like, grab your tissues, get angry at the world.
Yeah. This is.
I hope you enjoyed your 4th of July, because the 6th of July is just going to piss you the fuck off.
Yeah. Dude, a lot of shit is going on, bro. There's so much going on. And miserable is good. Oh, it says go. Oh, Jesus.
I guess without misery, you can't really know joy. Right?
True.
Not properly. You've got to have the ups and downs.
I would have never enjoyed my show last night if not without the misery that's happening.
Yeah, it's kind of true though, because it's like if you were just like happy all the time, it would just be this stagnation. It would just be the same feeling all the time. It would become boredom.
Maybe happy. Right? Maybe happy's misery sometimes for the people that are always happy.
That'd be wild. Could you imagine?
And
like they need to feel sad.
It's the flip for them. Yeah. They have to feel sad to like get a relief.
Yeah, because what the hell, man? It's like a song, right? Like, let's take it right back to music. Like, you need to build up to really appreciate that drop in the chorus, right? Like, you can't just go into the chorus and have the chorus be there the whole time. No, you've got to have some like crazy shit happening to lead you there. And the crazier the shit, the better it feels when that melodic chorus comes and sweeps you off your feet.
Yeah. Maybe that's how like bands like end up doing like political stuff because they don't have enough misery in their life. They're like, I'll just talk about how fucked the world is. That's pretty easy to do.
Dude, honestly, I think that's super accurate. I mean, Green Day 2003 or whatever.
Right? They did American Idiot. And they're like,
yeah, they came out with American Idiot.
We're done whining about us doing drugs and being lazy all day.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to stop talking about jerking off on the couch, and now we're going to talk about how much we hate politics.
Yeah,
and it's like, I hate politics too, but like, come on, guys, the whole fucking album's about it.
Hey, happy birthday, Troy. By the way, Shade will be back with us next Sunday, I believe. He had some stuff come up today, but he'll be with us.
Climbing Mount Everest.
Is that what he's doing?
Yeah, man.
Are you serious? Are you fucking with me?
No, dude, that would take like months, and he might die.
Oh.
I hope not. I hope that. I don't think he told us what he's doing. He could be doing anything.
All right. Well, welcome to the podcast, everyone. The Solid Sound Podcast, where we talk about our favorite musicians from all over the world. And yeah, just UMG is trying to take everyone out. You know, I want to clarify some things about these copyright strike things and all these YouTube channels telling you that their channel is going to be taken down. I did put, apparently, this channel's getting taken down. It was sarcasm, guys. I know some of you thought it was clickbait. I changed the title. But
it's like every, but
it
guys, like every other YouTube channel, like put that too. Like I was just looking at like every YouTube channel's their title is like UMG might take down our title. It's like,
yeah, I'm gonna explain that a little bit more because it's a little complicated, and I've already been through this with Sony, and I'm gonna tell you guys how the strikes work because we'll get into it in a second. Anyways, and then we're gonna talk about Ronnie calling off Crossfaith, guitarist, and yeah, and then we're gonna talk about Broken by the Scream. We got some positive stuff. We'll talk about the Baby Metal concert a little bit too, stuff that we missed. If you guys have questions for us about the Baby Metal show, because we didn't get a chance to talk about that because we did
we only did like right afterwards, like the post-show discussion.
Yeah, we put up a pre-recorded podcast for you all. I hope you enjoyed it. I mixed the vlog with the podcast as a new style of video that I hadn't done before. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I wasn't sure about tacking on a podcast at the end of all this stuff. I thought it was pretty cool behind the scenes. That's another one that people thought I was clickbaiting, meeting Baby Metal. I was like, in nowhere in that title does it say I'm doing the like the interview is going to be in that video, but people took it that way, so I changed it because I don't want people to feel like they got.
Yeah, well, they didn't get got, and they should just suck it up and deal with that because
I mean, we did
meet Baby Metal on that day, and we talked about it for like 45 minutes.
Apparently that's clickbait. I don't know how. I was like, just because you guys assumed there was an interview in there, I don't know. We literally talked about the interview. The interview's being edited in the video of us talking about Baby Metal.
Like one of the first things that we're talking about.
It blew my mind that it was called clickbait. I was like, I don't understand.
While we're sitting in the Fox News van, like one of the first things that we start talking about is the images that we're watching of the backstage interview about to take place.
Yeah, I know, but that's clickbait.
We even were showing images of it. Like we had an image on the screen. Whatever.
Yeah, and here's the thing, guys. A lot of you said it was like one comment. No, it was like 4 people, and then like some people liked the post. So I don't know. Maybe there's like a language translation. So I'm like, to be fair, like I'm trying to please people. Also, I don't want people to feel like it's clickbait or anything. And we have hyped up the interview a lot, so I can see why people were like, oh, there's going to be an interview for sure because it says meeting with Baby Metal, but there wasn't. You know, it is coming out. We're just waiting on Joe. Actually, you might pop in at some point today and tell us on what the status is for that.
Shade just popped in. Shade, how's the mountain, buddy?
Yeah, how's the mountain? I heard you're climbing one right now.
I'm glad he's still alive. Yeah. All right.
I am too. Someone got really pissed. I saw the comments. Yeah, somebody did get really pissed. Hashtag clickbait confirmed. In the interview case, it's more like a them problem than you. How's Everest Shade? Shade is busy, but he's here. I know. What's up with that, Shade? You can comment in the no. He just probably wants to stop and say hi to everyone, and is out on his way. All right. Well, let's start off with the UMG thing. So UMG is pretty much 42% owner of like all music catalogs, which they're below the rule for monopoly, which is 50. More than 50%. So what UMG is doing now is they're going after distributing companies, which is a huge issue, which they're buying out like CD Baby, which is underneath another company. I can't remember the name. I need to pull up my notes for that. But yeah, so that's what's going on with UMG. They're pretty much trying to take over everything, and they're issuing strikes against creators. And I just want to clarify something with this. A lot of the channels that are saying, oh, I got 24 strikes. It doesn't work like that because if you have past videos, I know what they're saying. They probably flagged 24 videos. But YouTube did make it a while back, unless it changed recently, that they only can issue out 1 strike, take down all the past videos. And the reason why I know this is because Sony issued a strike on me before in the past, and they took down 8 of my videos all at once, and I only got 1 strike for it. Now, if I put up another Sony video after that, then they can give me a fresh new strike. All right? That's how it works with that. So all these channels that were like, my channel's going to get taken down, it's going to get taken down, I'm like, No, it's not, because if they're all old UMG videos, they could take down all 24 videos and then just issue the one strike, and then they can go from there. So I don't know. So I get it. People probably just trying to get views, or they've never been through it. They've never been through it. I've been through it in the beginning, like way in the beginning. Not only just Sony Japan did that to me. I think it was Sony Japan specifically too. It wasn't even Sony. Now Sony Japan doesn't do that at all anymore. I was telling Champ before we started this podcast, I'm like, UMG is making Sony look like the nice guys at this point. Not the track record they're going on.
I do think some of it is like, okay, some of it is probably hearsay from creators talking to other creators and, you know, playing a game of telephone. But I also, from my knowledge on like certain channels like MXR Plays, I know that some of these copyright people or copyright groups will issue multiple strikes at once, even though they're not allowed to or they're not supposed to. They'll get your channel taken down, and then you have to, what's the word? It starts with an A, to try to get it back.
Appeal
It. Yes. So you have to appeal it. And then when you do, they will get rid of those other 2 strikes or those other 6 strikes or whatever that they gave you, because they weren't supposed to give it to you in the first place. But going through that process is a long and arduous one. I think they're hoping that some people just won't deal with it.
I don't know. Like I said, we don't know for sure. All I can speak from is experience with this. So Sony issued me 5 strikes, right? They were like, they issued 5 takedowns, I should be more specific about. They issued 5 takedowns of my videos, which resulted in 1 strike. Back in the day, though, they could do an individual strike for each video. Like Maximum Hormone had done that to a couple of people with Warner Music. Back in the day, they used to do a strike per video. And that's why a lot of channels got taken down back in the day. A lot of people warned me about it. I'm like, no, I'm good now. YouTube changed the rule on that. So now they can't do that. They only can just take all the past videos. This is the ones that we're going to take down and then issue strike. However, something they can do is they could do this where they do a strike maybe on 2 videos if they do it manually, right? And then come back like 2 months later and do the rest, and get fresh strikes on the channel. That's a possibility too.
But I think they can, like, I'm sure that what you're saying is like, it's accurate in like what they're legally supposed to be doing. I'm just not convinced that they're always playing by the rules that's been set for them. True.
Yeah. Like,
I think that because the appeal exists, they can, in essence, chop down a channel completely and then say, when the channel appeals, oh, we made a mistake.
Yeah.
Because there's no problem with them making a mistake. They don't have to pay there's no repercussions for that, right? So they can intentionally do that and then just act like it was a mistake and give it back if these channels have the time to deal with this, like, multiple month process of trying to appeal to get their channel back. So like it's just, also let's tell them why everybody's upset that UMG is becoming a problem right now, specifically. Also,
yeah. So the issue is, like, if they take over these distributing companies, it's going to raise the bar for getting your music out. It could possibly lead to that. I was trying to.
Yeah, it's what we talk about with Ticketmaster. Also, it's like they're monopolizing this industry at this point. So, like, if they're already the number 1 and they're trying to buy the number 2, they have so much control in that space that nobody can even combat them. And it gets to the point where like even the governments can't combat them, like with Ticketmaster that we see, where they have a monopoly. And even though the courts have already ruled against that being legal, they still can do whatever the fuck they want to do anyway.
They can lobby too. The more money you have, they're just going to lobby out the politicians and stuff to keep themselves safe. That's what they've been doing for years. The food industry here in the US has been doing it for decades now, since the 70s.
So that's why this UMG thing scares me, because it's not because I'm like, oh my God, they give more strikes than other people. It's because the more power that any single entity possesses, the harder it is to fight against them. So even if they have a rule that they're supposed to follow, they don't necessarily have anybody coming down and saying, okay, we're going to cut your hand off if you don't. They're just going to deal with it.
I fear, there's a petition going around from the lawyer, the music attorney or whatnot. Check out her channel. She talks about this in particular and how they're putting together petition and stuff to stop this ahead of time. And I really appreciate the trying to stop it ahead of time, because otherwise we are going to end up with another Ticketmaster thing. It's the same as them selling tickets and then owning the venues. This is the same kind of thing. They own the music catalogs and they own the distributor. It's like, what? Like,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
a whole different way to monopolize, like in a different kind of way.
It's like being the judge, the jury, and the executioner. You know, it's like you get to make the decisions, then you get to monitor how people do it, and then you get to come down on them for their problems, and nobody's monitoring you. But that's why it's good what's happening right now. So like this whole thing, this is becoming a bit more of a story because the European Commission oversees competition within the EU.
Yeah.
They are trying to launch a antitrust investigation against the Universal Music Group.
Yeah, because indie artists at risk. EU questions UMG's power grab in a $775 million deal. European Commission, which oversees competition within the EU, launched a phase 1 antitrust investigation after authorities in Austria and the Netherlands raised concern. Isn't UMG in the Netherlands, right? That like part of their base is in the Netherlands, and then they have an office in California. So from what I remember seeing. But anyways, UMG, one of the 3 global major labels, has proposed acquiring Downtown Music Holdings, which is the they own CD Baby and stuff like that, for $775 million. Downtown is a major provider of music publishing distribution like Fuga, CD Baby, and royalty management services for 4 million creators and 5,000 clients in 145 countries. By the way, CD Baby and DistroKid specifically, like, they're charging me so much money to keep my music up online. It's ridiculous. I have to pay yearly to keep my music even up and running for you guys to listen to. So, listen to our original music. It helps out. They charge me like almost $200 a year right now. And it's not even for many songs. Some of them aren't even in the copyright. I'm probably getting screwed. But anyways, UMG already has a commanding share of recorded music globally. This is like when you hear about the artists saying they sold their catalog off for millions of dollars. This is what they're talking about. They sell it to like places like UMG or Sony and stuff like that. Acquiring Downtown, one of the few major services for independent artists, could give them too much power across the music value chain, from recording to distribution. That's the other thing. Yeah. They own a lot of recording studios on top of all this. Industries bodies like Impala and Worldwide Independent Network warn that this consolidation could restrict access, raise prices, and reduce opportunities for smaller players. So yeah, it's like, I feel like there's this huge tug of war between democratizing like everything, right? We get that happening, and then all of a sudden it pulls back again. Like the biggest issue before is really hard to get big unless you get a big record label to sign you on and things like that. And we were like, oh, cool, the internet comes along, right? Finally, things are getting democratized. And then, oh, we have our own way to release our own music. But now it's like, now we're going backwards. Now it's all being taken away. Now that the big companies finally are aware of their bank accounts being hit, they're like, okay, now hey, we need to stop this shit. We need to, we need to get control again.
And it's not even in this, like, at least before with the, when you're kind of beholden to your labels, it's kind of like this label has like, they got this 12 musical artists, and like, maybe they're not treating you the best, but it's spread between like, however many people they have signed. Now, the way that things are being built with like this Universal Music Group, we're talking about like millions and millions of artists that are beholden to them. And there's no intimacy anymore whatsoever. So it's like they get to control everything from the top layer, right? And then everything trickles down. But that's it. There's no like special treatment. There's no anything. It's just you have to do what they say. You have to play by those rules. Yep. And the more that they own, the more artists that have to continue to play by their specific rules. Yeah. And the fact that Google and YouTube has seemingly no interest in kind of adjusting their algorithm to make room for stuff like UMG or any of these other people that are doing, or other entities that are doing copyright strikes or anything like that. The fact that they don't want to adjust anything, they keep it the same, makes it so easy for these groups like UMG to just come in and just start chopping away at things they don't want. Let's be honest
here. How much money is UMG paying YouTube? I don't need. Come on, UMG has to be sending over millions of dollars to them.
I mean, I don't know how that works, because is it advertising money? You know what I mean? Like, or is it just like every time YouTube puts up a video that is under the UMG label, UMG gets like a certain percentage of it. I don't know if there's any like direct
Yeah.
payments going on as much as this is just like a very mutually beneficial relationship for both of them. And eventually, probably already, they're not going to give a fuck about any of the artists that are actually a part of it. It's just a matter of just like following the formula and keeping it going.
Yeah, it's just like lobbying, right? Here in the US.
Yeah, yeah, it's exactly the same.
I'm sure YouTube is getting something from Universal or getting like an extra incentive or something to keep it up,
But you would,
or
but you
stay
would,
out of it minimally according, because they're not even following YouTube's not even following their own guidelines. So I just feel like the reason why YouTube's staying silent or not doing much or doing the bare minimum or letting their AI stuff take over or like decide, on the decision making. They're just that's their way of being like, oh, we're just here,
yeah.
we're not gonna do
Do you
anything
remember?
extra.
Do you remember Vivo?
I don't remember Vivo. Oh yeah, they had like everything for the music videos, right?
Yeah,
Or,
like all the
okay,
music
yeah.
videos, the big ones would come under the Vivo channel or the Vivo
Yeah,
name or
yeah, yeah, yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
And I ended up
Yeah,
looking into that because I was so curious what that was. That was basically what this is, but specifically for music videos on YouTube,
yeah,
right? But now, like Vivo ended up being useless eventually because people were just like getting as much popularity off their own independent channels and stuff like that.
yeah.
But now, once everything's under the UMG label, they can do the same thing. There's like nothing stopping them from putting like a little UMG icon also on all the videos, and then eventually just being like, okay, we're going to promote this harder via YouTube's algorithm because YouTube wants us to. You know what I mean? And there you go. It's so easy for them to just say, we're going to push our videos harder because we have a mutually beneficial relationship to make these videos do really well. And there's nothing stopping them from doing that. That's why I'm really glad that the EC is actually going out of their way to try to prevent this from happening, because monopolization in all situations is bad. There's not a single situation where that is beneficial to us as the consumers of the products.
Yeah, and this AI stuff is just like expediting all of this. It's making everything go way at like warp speed, and it's making it very hard for people that are independent to keep up. So independent artists, you guys need to start utilizing AI to like protect yourself, because there is ways you can use that to circumvent things, look up more rules, laws, and fight this even faster. Because it's going to be very expensive when you start getting attorneys involved and like going after for lawsuits, and that's how they get people to stop doing this stuff anyways. Is you just ring them, you just bring them through the you just ring them out, right? You just like keep dragging them through the mud over and over and over again, and they have millions and millions of dollars to keep you down. But if maybe you could possibly use AI to help you research, become more knowledgeable on a certain situation. Maybe there's a case where you could probably fight a little bit better, or get things done faster on your own.
Are you selling AI today?
I am. This is the benefit of AI. Like this is how you could use it as a benefit to help you. I think there is some good in AI, but there's definitely a lot of bad. But that's the only way you're gonna, I think, get ahead, honestly, because we can't hire teams to help us out. So this is probably the best case use for us when it comes to AI stuff. This is like,
God, I hate that though. Like I mean, you're not wrong. It sounds like, we're gonna stab ourselves in the foot to make sure that we don't get stabbed in the neck. Like like that sucks, man. Like I just don't want to get stabbed at all.
well,
Like
I mean, well, like I said, the music attorney, she is putting her name's Crystal, right? I believe. Yeah, she has put together a petition. Make sure you go to her channel and fill that out. I wish I had the link. I'll pin it later when we post this up as a clip, so you can become involved in it. And I think maybe we can make some headway if everybody joins that.
Yeah,
but
I mean, maybe.
maybe.
Yeah, it can't hurt. Put it that way, right? Like.
But
the
then
more people against it, the harder it is for it's because it's publicly traded, right? So the more people that are against it, the harder it is for them to actually pass resolutions in the boardroom, because then they think they're going to lose out on money by people not being on board with it, right? So like most of the time that's not going to have a big impact, but sometimes maybe if you're lucky, somebody will be like,
there's
okay,
another
this
thing
looks
that's
bad for us.
There's another thing that's coming out of this too. I mean, this just pushes live shows a little bit more, or live gigs that are not underneath these big corporations. I think small gigs are going to come back because people are just going to want real, I hope, and they're going to want to go to these smaller gigs. That's what I
I
was thinking
guess.
too. That could it could push in that direction also, because like I feel like if it's going too heavy to one direction, it's going to move the opposite way eventually. You know.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, you would hope I mean that would actually make logical sense based on this, but then you take into consideration the fact that like, you go back to the Ticketmaster thing and how they have all these agreements with the
no,
actual
like
venues themselves and stuff
people are
like
going to go
that. That
to like the Rock House here in El Paso, where it's very raw and you can still fit about 300 people. Like Ticketmaster doesn't own that venue. Ticketmaster is
yeah,
only interested
true.
in the thousands and thousands. I think people are just gonna be like, "Fuck this! I'm
You're
gonna
talking
start
about
going."
real small.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna go to smaller ones. Fuck this. I want something real. People are
Yeah.
just gonna say because everything is becoming so fake and stuff, and then we don't even know if Champ and I are AI right now, right? Like, who knows? We could be AI talking right now.
That'd actually be fucking sick, man. Like, I mean, if I could somehow do stuff like on YouTube on a daily basis without actually being here, like I'm at my other job and I'm just still doing reactions.
I'm just interacting with everybody. We're just AI bots right now.
Hell yeah.
But at this point, people are going to be so worried about like things being fake online that they're just going to want to go to live things like live podcasts or
See, I
live
disagree. And
music.
here's why I disagree. Because I think that
Because you
people
suck. That's why.
No, I think this whole idea sucks because I want that to be the case, man. Like I want that to be the consequence of what happens here. But in reality, what I see is people just slowly getting used to things and accepting them as they are. People don't like to fight against corruption or the change. They'd rather just bitch about it until it is what it is. And I'm telling you,
No,
man,
no, 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 no,
I
no, no,
am
no.
100%
No.
convinced that 10 years from now, the majority of people are going to completely accept if music is AI
Okay,
generated.
well, maybe people like Champ will do that, but we have like people like music attorney Knox Hill that are fighting. Come on, we have
Oh,
people
great.
fighting out there.
I'm so happy to have the 7 people that we see online fighting this system
No,
against
they
the
got thousands of
millions,
signatures. A music
millions.
attorney, please get 1 million signatures so we can prove Champ wrong. Please, can we?
Brother, 10 years ago, did you think? Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something, Alan. 10 years ago,
I
did
don't. I
you
don't like
think?
AI Champ. Okay, I'm just saying.
No, I know. This isn't about if we like it or not. This is about what is happening. 10 years ago, did you think everybody would be okay with backing tracks? Because I didn't.
10 years ago, I think everyone's gonna be not for rock and metal. No,
Okay,
for
but
rap,
now we
yes.
go see fucking, Black Veil Brides and they got a fucking
That's
whole ass
fucking ridiculous.
backing track.
Yeah.
And this is the type of thing that's slowly becoming more accepting over the years, right? And we're getting to a point where the faker stuff is actually accepted more
To be
often.
fair, Black Veil Brides, the more faker stuff had the less crowd interaction. Nobody was moving during that.
Yeah, but
while
they're
they were
also the
playing.
oldest band, and like, I mean, it's still
So you're calling their fans senile and can't move, or what?
no. I'm saying they've already seen them. They've been around since 2011. We've had our chance to see Black Veil Brides if we wanted to see Black Veil Brides. But I don't want to hear fucking metal bands with backing tracks, but people are okay with it. So, like, who am I to fucking sit here? What am I going to do? Throw rocks at my lawn? Be like, get off my lawn! You don't know music! Like,
Yes, champ.
fucking A,
Yes,
dude.
I want.
Yes, that is what I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm going to do. But everybody else is going to be cool with it. Watch, man. Everybody else is going to be cool with it. And we're going to have like all kinds of like AI generated music, and people are going to be taking part in it because they're going to think it's fun to create and all kinds of shit like that. And this is all just going to lead to everybody being okay with everything being fake.
I want to address this. Like everyone around me during Black Veil Brides was like, "Can we go back to Bloodywood?" Here, this is what I want to point out to this because Bloodywood and Baby Metal sounded the most real, which is when you hear that statement right now, you're like, "Baby Metal, come on." I'm like, but no, they had really raw vocals in there. They kept those dudes' raw vocals like more than other times. And but you gotta admit though, when Baby Metal was on and when Bloodywood was on, you could feel the vocals, you could feel the emotion. I think you still need to keep the element of real of those vocals in there. Anyways, let's finish the rest of this article here. So by July 22nd, EU must decide in phase 1 whether to greenlight the deal, perhaps with conditions, or open a phase 2 investigation, which can take up to 4 months if pushed into phase 2. fucking crazy. The deeper probe would delay closure well into fall or beyond. That's crazy. What happens to like get this done by end of day? Other markets may also become involved. For example, UK's Competition and Markets Authority could launch its own review during slowing things. UMG states it is confident the deal will close in the second half of 2025. But that timeline depends heavily on EU and potentially UK rulings. A rejection or strong conditions would send a message that antitrust bodies are actively pushing back against consolidation in digital and entertainment. And they need to fight back against this. And, going back to this, but I just want to remind everybody, this is a $775 million deal that they're about to purchase. So that just shows you how much money they have. They have billions. Like, it's not just that they have millions, they have billions. If you're willing to pay, like, purchase something for $775 million, bro, how much money do you fucking need? Like, seriously.
Yeah.
But again, they're publicly traded, right? UMG is, so that probably answers my question there, because they need stockholders want to make more money that don't give a fuck about the music industry.
Yeah, so. The only thing I could think of at this point.
So I'm gonna go buy UMG stocks right now. No, just kidding.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Here's your insider trading tips for the day. Honestly, the only thing I could think of now is like if the bands, the artists themselves would have to try to form some kind of union. Like to say like we aren't gonna fight like. And that's the only thing that could happen, because why else would they want to change? If the consumers have to consume it because they don't have another option, then it's just the bands, the artists themselves that have any sway whatsoever. And it couldn't be a small amount of them. It would have to be a large enough group of artists that UMG would actually get scared, But God, that's just so incredibly unlikely. So we're actually relying on the government to do something about this, which is horrifying in itself.
Is Ronnie big enough yet? Can he do it? Can he take him? I mean, he's going after everybody. Why doesn't he go after
Ronnie Radke?
Yeah, Ronnie Radke. We need Ronnie Radke.
I'm not putting my faith in humanity and music behind Ronnie Radke.
Come on, dude. He's calling out pedophiles. You might as well call out music industry also.
Yeah, man. A broken clock is right twice a day, But I still don't want that broken clock for the rest of the hours.
Crossfaith guitarist fired after confirmed grooming allegation. Band cancels tour, enters hiatus following Ronnie Radke's revelation. So, Dicey, guitarist for Crossfaith and Gnosis. By the way, this is very sad for me because I was a huge Crossfaith fan. And
yeah, you really liked Crossfaith, and I liked Gnosis, and I thought Gnosis. I liked
Gnosis
good.
Also. So he was accused of inappropriate online contact with a 14-year-old fan during the band's June 2025 European tour.
Bro, let me stop you right there. Can you believe that a member of a rock/metal group is engaged in inappropriate sexual activity? Have you ever heard of anything like that before?
Never, dude.
Never. It's amazing.
Never. Yeah, it was only in all the lyrics of every 80s metal song ever.
Jesus Christ. It's like we have a new story of this every fucking week. It's crazy, bro. Stop trying to bang teenagers, guys. What's wrong with you? There are so many women that are old enough that will do it. You're a rock star. God damn, man.
I mean, you're right. I don't know. Maybe they're not putting it out.
Isn't this why you became a rock star, so that like girls will want to sleep with you, not forcing teenagers to do it?
I think that was more of an 80s thing, man. I don't know. I don't think people join rock bands to get with girls anymore.
Not for me in the year 2002.
I don't think anyone does that anymore. I don't think that works. I don't think that works anymore. So anyways, so Ronnie's been doing this for a while, by the way, calling out artists that do questionable things like this too. So it was very shocking for me to see all the comments online being like, "Oh wow, Ronnie's a saint for doing this." Like, he's been doing this for a while, calling out artists. A lot of people keep mentioning that over and over again about Ronnie. You're like, wow, he did something good for once in his life. I mean, I know he got accused of some things, right? But then was found not guilty. So I'm just curious, like, what has this guy done to people? Because there was so many comments like, wow, Ronnie did something good for once in his life. Like, I'm sure he's done other good things.
He's like pretty aggressively anti-LGBTQ. And I think that pisses
is that
off a lot of people right off the bat. I mean, he
Yeah.
was also accused of murder, and like a lot of people don't
Yeah.
don't believe that he didn't have a part in it, even though he was like, acquitted or
Gotcha.
whatever.
Gotcha.
I don't know how I feel about any of that. I just know that like when I see his tweets and shit online, I'm like, that guy seems like a dick.
Okay, I
You
don't
know?
I don't follow his tweets, so fair enough. I was just like shocked when I saw these. I'm like, wow, people really hate this guy. I'm not a fan of Falling Reverse personally. I like a song here and there, so I just don't care as much
Yeah, I've
about
never heard their
the
music.
band.
I don't know.
Just the violence and hate. Okay, I didn't know he was condoning violence and hate.
But he
But
does like that's the thing. There are ups and downs to everybody, right? And you're not wrong. Like I have seen him actively trying to like call out other people. I'm not sure, he actually has like the people's best interest in it while
yeah,
he's doing it. I think he lives for the drama of it. But
yeah.
like he does. He does this sometimes. So, on
Um,
this occasion, I'm glad he did.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, people are capable. People are capable of doing the wrong and right thing all at the same time. So, Ronnie Radke was touring with them and became aware of the situation. He privately warned Crossfaith and festival organizers, but when no action was taken, he went public on social media to share receipts, evidence showing his attempts to meet the minor, which a lot of you have probably already seen these tweets. Of the conversation back and forth. There was definitely a certain part of that tweet that I was like, okay, that was a translation issue, but then it kept going, and I was like, oh no, he knew. He fucking knew. Like at first, I was like, okay, I can see how that mixed up because I've had conversations with people, like doing the translation thing with Japanese singers that collab on songs. And there's definitely some weird parts in the translation. So at first I was like, okay, I could see how this was translated weird. But then when he like officially knew, he just kept going. I'm like, okay, no, that's more than that. So yeah, because there's a lot of comments about that. It was like a translation issue. I'm like, no. It kept going afterwards. So anyways, Rodney put out a TikTok video. He accused the entire group of probably engaging in the same inappropriate activity.
Okay, let's stop there for a second, okay?
Yeah.
Because here's where I'm like, all right, dude, like, listen, you found out that like this guy was being a piece of shit, and you did the right thing, and you brought it to the attention of the rest of the bandmates, and I think also the people that are in charge of the festival, and that is what you should do in that situation. What you should not do in that situation is then go publicly and accuse four other people of doing the same thing
Yeah.
when you have zero evidence that they had any knowledge or were privy to this at all. You know what I mean? Like that's where it's like, bro, you're levying huge accusations against like the random drummer of this band. It's like,
Yeah, I mean, but you know how it goes, guilty by association is what a lot of people are gonna say, right? And that's
yeah,
what
yeah,
and that's
but
what
then
and the funny thing is that's what Ronnie got accused of was association. Like, right?
yeah,
With
there you go.
with
He
the
should know
murder
better
thing.
in that case, right? Like that's the thing. Like he was homies with these people, right? So it's like
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of ironic, right? Now that I think about
yeah, and I also thank you, Goat. I wouldn't have gone on TikTok to make a video about this. I would have called the cops. But I mean, dude's paying his bills also at the same time. So
I mean, yeah. Did he? I'm assuming he had a report to authorities, right? No, probably not.
I don't think he likes authorities very much after his like 5 year
True,
court trial.
But then again, like authorities wouldn't do anything anyways with this tweet. They might
Probably not.
Yeah,
Probably
they probably
not.
just keep it or messages.
And in a situation like that, sometimes the only thing you can do is take it public yourself. We're not there. We don't know what's going on. All I'm saying is just don't call out the rest of the band if you only have tweets for one.
To be fair, he only called out the rest of the band because he felt they were purposefully refusing to fire him.
Well,
Like,
he
they didn't
felt
do anything.
the guy that he was talking to, the singer of the band,
Yeah.
that guy, he felt that he was refusing to do anything about it.
But I just gotta say,
not the drummer or the bassist or the other guitarist.
You know why this karma's coming at them? It's because they don't like baby metal. That's why. That's why this is happening. Crossfaith, they have an interview where they say they don't like baby metal that much or whatnot. And I did a video. I was so sad when I did that video. I'm like, oh, I'm like, see, this is what happens when you don't like baby metal. Bad things happen. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
See, it's the people that don't like baby metal that are actually the ones that are into the little girls. Proof for you right there.
Anyways, so he confronted the singer of Crossfaith and shows messages of the singer defending Aquati's actions before unfollowing Radke. He unfollowed Radke afterwards. That's
So
I mean,
that's where that's when I read that, I was like, okay, that's a little sketchy, buddy.
yeah.
Why would you unfollow him at that point?
So he put, I'm truly sorry. Of course, none of the members knew about this. And while I know it may not be an excuse, he himself didn't seem to know that the other person was 14 years old. We understand this is a serious matter, and we're committed to addressing it properly within our band and team. It honestly breaks my heart. This was such an incredible opportunity, and I'm really disappointed in how things have turned out. Imagine being a fan of that band, Falling in Reverse, right? Being a huge fan, and then when your fucking members get accused of this by the singer of that band that you looked up to and going on tour with. That is wild. That has got to be the lowest of the low, for the singer of Crossfaith. I would probably enter severe depression, honestly. Like, because that would hit me so fucking, like, you look up to these guys. You're on tour with them. You're blowing up finally after like 10 plus years of playing in Crossfaith. And like, it's all destroyed because of this guitarist I hired a year ago. And they never even needed a second fucking guitarist. They had one guitarist this whole time, and they just decided to play a second guitarist.
Yeah, and so it is interesting that they decided at this point to cancel like all of their future plans right now, because I do kind of feel like, I mean, you just added this guy a year ago. You've been playing with, it's not like he replaced anybody. Crossfaith only had one guitarist until they brought this guy on board. So like, I don't see why you can't just fire him and then like continue doing everything the way that you would have been doing it before.
Well, that's why they're looking so guilty now. Like that's why they're looking so guilty. But anyways, he said he did know. Actually, read what I sent is what Radke said back to him. And then he responded with, Dicey showed me the DM thread and said he only found out the person was 14 at the end. He said he realized it was a serious problem and decided to stop replying immediately. But that's the problem, is in that message he talks about meeting up with them the next time he's in their city. So that's where it gets weird, right? And then Radke responds with, bro, come on. He knew. How do you not know at 37 years old you are talking to a 14-year-old girl? Keeping him in your band is unacceptable. He is a predator. I mean, he says that, but so I can't see the rest of the message. I don't think I say the rest of it. But anyways, the whole thing is just fucked. So Radke also singled out the promoter of Grass Pop Music Festival in Germany for knowingly allowing pedophiles to play at the festival and for how bad the catering is. Yeah, he goes off into TikTok. I listen to it. Where
see, this is where I'm like, bro, you're combining these things. Like, you got a point to make.
Yeah, bro, like pedophiles and bad food.
Come back to bad food on another video.
Shut them down.
Because like I'm not looking at these two things and going, oh, they had bad food too. Okay, you're right. We should get rid of this.
Bro, venues festival with bad food just have like they have predators out there playing there. But also, you didn't know?
Like why would he think? So this is where I'm questioning Ronnie again, because why would he think that like the leader of this festival or whatever would have any idea what's going on with these fucking tweets?
Yeah, unless he's talking about correction. Grass Pop in Belgium. Thank you, Chewbacca. Thank you.
Yeah. So like, okay, so if it happens afterwards, like if he's making this video after the tweets came out, and the festival person's like, okay, you know what? Never mind. I don't give a shit. Then I understand. But like, it seems like this all happened really quickly, and they had to make some decisions like within days. So but Ronnie came out like immediately and was like, you got to do all this right now. And I kind of feel like, give it a couple days. Like maybe they would have decided this on their own.
Yeah. Well, no, Radke's that type of human though. Like he takes immediate action. It's hard for some people that take the immediate action, and it's hard for them to understand when people actually take a moment to think before they make a decision.
I just feel bad. I feel bad for the other people that are involved. Like, I feel like some people are getting strays right now, because Ronnie's got like this fucking explosive personality where he's just ready to go at everybody. It's like, one guy is a piece of shit. We know that for sure. There might be other pieces of shit around him, but we don't know that yet. So let's just get rid of the piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we'll deal with the other stuff afterwards and see if any of that's actually accurate.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on, let me fix this fucking thing on. Are you guys seeing lines on the screen? Because I'm seeing lines on my screen.
I don't see
it's driving me nuts right now. Go away, lines on the screen. All right. Anyways, I'm just gonna fucking move on. Crossfaith canceled the final tour, final 4 European shows, June 26th to June 29th, after Radke's public revelation, citing need to protect the fans and crew. Within 48 hours, they dismiss query from both Crossfaith and Gnosis. Well, Gnosis is still together as of now, right? Describing his actions as inappropriate communication with underage fans.
Yeah, but they fired him.
They fired him, but they're still going. I just don't. Crossfaith is just done. But like I said, the reason why I think Crossfaith is going on hiatus because they're probably fucking horribly depressed now, like because they didn't act the way that Radke wanted them to act, so they feel like even with them firing that member, they're still not in the good graces with Radke, which was a band they looked up to a lot. So
not just Radke, but like everybody, probably their own fans.
Yeah, and then their fans too. Yeah, but you get what I'm saying? Like I don't think I would keep a band going after that. I
were they touring together, or was this just one show?
They were going to be touring together though more after this. Is what I gathered.
So yeah, I mean, if that's the case, then yeah, I mean, it's probably the right move to take a step back and kind of reassess the situation, maybe think about how you want to address this to the public further beyond right now, and then come together again, like, 6 months, a year from now, when their fans are like really aching to see them again because it's been a while.
Crossfaith issued a public apology to the minor and her family, acknowledging their delay in responding and expressing deep regret for the breach of trust.
So do we know how Ronnie got these tweets in the first place? Was it the minor that sent them to him?
The mom sent it to him.
The mom did?
The mom sent it to him saying, hey, why do you guys have these on the tour with you?
That's wild. So the mom of the minor sent it to a guy from a different band that's touring with them.
Well, because she knew that Radke goes after people like this, and she said, hey, are you aware that this person is doing this kind of thing? He texted my daughter, I think is what
so I wonder how much. Yeah. Okay. So like Radke was like prompted to have even more of a federal response to this than he normally would.
Yeah.
It's God, what a fucked up situation, man.
Yeah.
God damn it, man. I wish they would just stop. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm just going like, dude, like you're going to the show and definitely like a hot 22-year-old there that wants to fuck your brains out. Just go do that. Just go do it. There's 3,000 people at your last show. Like, come on, man. Like one of them wants to fuck your brains out and she's old enough to do it.
I mean, right?
I
all I could think of was like maybe he was like, oh well, they're messaging me first. I don't know, like none of it excuses it, but at all.
Yeah, I don't even want to try to get into their brains.
I feel bad for the other members, man. I really do. The members that have nothing to do with this, or like they didn't know. If they truly didn't know and had nothing to do with this, I feel bad for them. I
genuinely believe that would be more likely the case. That's why I'm kind of like. When Radke says stuff like, well, how does everybody not know? I expect them all to, know that shit. I'm like, dude, in the bands that I've been in, like, I had like, the one person in the band that I was really tight with and I knew what he was going on all the time. But like, my drummer, I didn't really know what he was doing on an everyday basis. I don't know who he was talking to. Yeah. It's not like we're going out of our way to have these like long, in-depth conversations about the romantic parts of our life.
Champ, what are you talking about? Don't we always have conversations? I show you all the DMs I have with everybody all the time. I show you all my messages. We don't we do that? We share those.
Yeah, you guys in the chat, you don't want to see anything that I've seen before. It gets real nasty over there.
Yeah, but anyways, I'm being sarcastic here, but it's not like everybody's sharing their personal conversations they're having with everybody.
Even online. Like my closest friends, you know what I mean? Like I don't know what they're doing on a daily basis. Like they could be fucking weirdos. God, I hope not. I really hope that I've chosen good people in my life. But like, I don't know what they're doing on a Tuesday at 4:00 in the afternoon.
They're probably doing some BDSM and all that shit. You don't even know.
Yeah, exactly. And that's fine as long as it's consensual and with somebody of age. But. No idea.
All right.
Even those married couples, who knows what the fuck they're doing behind closed doors?
Yeah, exactly.
So I wouldn't just jump to the assumption that they're all aware and they're all taking part of it. That's crazy. They're probably fucking like, damn, this sucks so much. This guy fucked us all over.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
on other news, let's talk about Broken by the Scream.
Oh yeah. Cool.
and their 14-minute epic that they released. Their 14-minute Japanese death metal Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah,
So
it's pretty
we
sweet.
were calling it pretty much.
We like mentioned it last week because I had watched it because
Yeah.
I don't know, it just popped up or whatever, and I was like, huh, this is interesting. 14 minutes. But at this point, both Shade, and you go over to Shade's channel after this if you want.
Yeah.
He did a reaction to this song over on his channel, the whole thing with his buddy too, who's also like a musician.
Yeah.
So they go through the whole song. It takes them like a half hour to get through it, I think. And Alan just listened to it this morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
now
put
we
the
all have like a fresh take on it.
I put the link in the chat for you all if you haven't heard yet. If you like every single genre of death metal and metalcore in one song, and pop and dance music, and what else am I missing? What other genres?
Jazz.
Oh, jazz. Oh yeah, I forgot about the jazz section. It's just fucking wild. Check it out. The link's in the chat.
Yeah, it's really really unique. Like I mean, to the point where there's things obviously throughout the song that we've heard these bands that we listen to do, like
Yeah.
a song here, a song there, blah blah blah. But this overall experience, this like 14-minute long journey, is something that I haven't heard from any of these J-rock bands before, and it really was very much like a Bohemian Rhapsody, like set up that way, or like The Decline by NoFX. Something that feels more
Oh, I
like a
forgot about that
journey.
NoFX song. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's something that feels more like a journey that starts somewhere, and like yes, it does kind of like circle back around at the end, which I
Mm.
think we both agreed on. It didn't really need to happen towards the end. But
I was good with 10 minutes of it. I was like, because I felt like it was closure. But you know what? There's nothing wrong with it. It's their creative output that they want to put out. I just want to mention something too. Like they were just mentioning in the chat, the two screamers are fucking insanely good.
Yeah.
Insanely good.
Yeah.
Like really, really, really good. You don't hear
yeah,
that from
it surprised me,
from
man.
the group because they didn't sound like this before, right?
No, so they have replaced a bunch of people.
Yeah.
The only person I believe that is the same is the low growler, the really deep one.
Oh, so
I
even
think-
the girls have been changed out. I thought it was just the
I'm pretty sure.
musicians. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, Io is her name, I think. And she's fucking nasty, and she's better today for sure than she was like when I first started listening to them. She's gotten so good at that. But the other screamer is also really good now too. And they have very different styles to their scream. So it's nice to hear them switch it up like that.
I was really impressed with the overall screaming. It wasn't just like one style scream. Like when they start with that, like the higher pitch scream, I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, this is really good. And then the musicians are phenomenal. Dude, the musicians were just top tier.
Way better than I expected them to be.
Yep.
Like way better than and I was always impressed by this band, but this was like they showed out and showed off so fucking hard in this song, bro. They're like when that fucking jazz section comes up and the bassist is just doing the slap bass, like really, really fast, like 16th note slap bass. And then the saxophone comes in, and you're just like, what is happening here? They go into the little distorted electric solo over it. And this is none of this that I'm talking about has any metal in it whatsoever. It's just like a total change of genre when they get to that point, but show off how they can play that genre just as well as they could play death metal or black metal.
Also, didn't the mix upgrade significantly in this song? Because I haven't heard much by them. I've heard like 4 songs before, and they were good. They weren't quite my favorite, but this feels like way better than what I remember them sounding like.
I think so. For me personally, I've liked some of their songs more than other songs, and in the sense that like I've heard some songs where they're like fully like the slower sort of jazzy vibe that you hear in the middle of this track is like most of the song, and then I've heard them go a little more like death metal for the whole entire song. This one felt more like they took the best parts of all of those songs and kind of like mashed them up into like one big song. Like I was saying to you earlier before, it reminds me of like if you were to get like a video game, like an RPG video game, right? And you get the soundtrack of it and you just listen to the whole soundtrack at once, like back to back to back. This sounds like the whole soundtrack, like different parts of the story and stuff like that. And that's what I love about it so much. It feels like a story. It feels like each part of it is a different part of that story. I don't know fucking story's about. I just know that it's fucking loud.
And Live Fantastic says it's a Final Fantasy / Persona style music. Japanese video game soundtrack has always mixed styles.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Okay.
Saying just what I'm saying right there. Yeah. And I think it's really cool. I think it sounds really, really sick. The first, it's really heavy, obviously, for the majority of the first half of it, and then it lightens up about halfway through. It does the jazz section and it does this like Disney section almost, where they do like a dance break, and then
section.
like a banjo comes in, and the drummer just starts playing like a single like marching band drum instead,
and then it gets
like
heavy
all over.
Then it gets heavy as fuck. Like he goes to the most dissonant, diminished chords ever.
Okay, so then I think my favorite part of the song,
it's an 8-string Ibanez he's playing, right? I'm pretty sure
he's got an 8-string. He's got an 8-string, and I think the bassist is got a 7-string too.
Yeah.
But there's a section in the middle when we were listening to it earlier. I said, dude, that is like soaking an RO. Like it's that tight and that just like progressive and heavy at the same time. But it's only for like
bassist is only doing a 5-string. Holy shit! I thought it was
that's what I meant. I don't know why I said 7.
I was like, when you said 7, I need to go look at that again. I was like, wait a second.
I meant to add 1 string. I forgot it wasn't a guitar, but yeah, that section, the progressive section, the progressive death metal section around that jazz part is my favorite part because it requires so much tightness. It requires like the band has to be so fucking nasty to pull off that timing. My next question is, and I don't know, you guys might know in the chat, are they going to play this shit live? Like, are they going to play this 14-minute song live?
I saw in the chat that they play this without the backing band. That kind of sucks. I hope they get big enough to bring a backing band with them because they need it. They need it, man. They need it.
The problem with idol bands, man, sometimes they just don't have the actual musicians with them. It's such a bummer.
Yeah. Troy Allen said, I first came to Japanese metal, etc., via the old school cyberpunk anime movies. Oh, okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I've never seen any of those.
I didn't even know that was a thing. That is.
Yeah.
They didn't play this song this past Thursday, too long for a set, and no band. Oh, that sucked. Yeah, imagine like, all right, we're going to play a 30-minute set, and you play 3 songs.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm glad they're not playing it with no band, though, because like that would be even worse. Half the set is this song that's not live.
Yeah, because I don't think you could do the song live without the backing band because this is such an instrumental type thing. It really is.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it has to be like a live band in order to do this, or else it's really just not even worth it. But it's kind of common practice in Japan. I mean, this is not the first time that we've talked about bands that like just they don't have the live band with them, unfortunately. And I think you have to get to a certain status level to do that. Even with like K-pop, for example, that happens. Like a lot of the K-pop groups, when they play live, they have a band with them. If they're big enough. If they're not, they have the recorded tracks playing in the background.
So this is an interesting comment. They could play a shorter version that is just the first 5 minutes. I don't know what like that. You can't play 5 minutes of this.
It would be like stopping Bohemian Rhapsody before the. Like you need that. That's clutch to the song. Maybe they could shorten every part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they shorten every section by 75%, and then you can get through it in 6 minutes.
Like I said, there's a. I don't know. I enjoyed most of it. I definitely was checking out around the 11-minute mark. I was like, okay, I got it. But this is me not knowing Japanese also at that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't know what the song's about.
And I'm sure this is more story oriented. Like we were just talking about. But overall, I fucking enjoyed it. It was a great song.
Yeah, I will say,
really
I will say, I think they should have cut out the last. We didn't need to like go from like that Disney dance part into another verse and another chorus. Like it was just another 2 minutes of stuff that we've already heard. We could have just gone from Disney part to the outro. And
I retract my statement. What they should have done was made this 15 minutes longer, so it would just be an EP with 1 song on it.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
That would be cool, right?
Conceptually, that's cool. I've heard bands do that before, and it is. But you listen to it once or twice, and then you never listen to it again. That's the problem with that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You just break it down.
I listen. At the end of the day, I respect the band way more than I did before. And I'm more excited to see what the next thing they put out is going to be because now I know what they're capable of.
Yeah, this was just they just upped their game. I really think they just upped their game. I think they're ready just to push forward, you know. Overall. I need to look into it to see what members changed or what they added and things like that, but they're killing it. They're killing it. Keep it
Yeah.
up, Broken by a Scream. They're gonna be
Yeah.
phenomenal.
And they've been around for a little while now, but I do
Yeah.
want to say like this to me is like breakout material. This is the one that moves them to the next level if they can keep up this type of thing. Because I haven't seen a single person that wasn't super impressed by this.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. Yeah, like I said, the instrumentation was top notch. Like you can't get any better than that.
The fucking bassist and the guitarist, man. I mean, not to even like they're just so tight, dude. Like just even if you're not into like that really heavy death metal stuff, because they do that. The vast majority of the first like half of it is that. Like even if you're not into that, skip to like the 4 minute mark. And
Oh,
then just listen to the next like 5 minutes there, because they kind of come off the death metal stuff a little bit and start at that point going into the other genres, and you just see how nasty they
they
are.
did 2 shows here in 2024. Wow.
Yeah, I remember.
Wow.
They came to New York, didn't they?
Yeah, they went to New York and LA. But the people said they saw them this past Thursday. So are they in Europe right now? Was that what they're doing? Current tour. I was trying to find.
I hope so. It's nice to see bands of that level getting some like moving around, getting some movement.
Yeah, Screaming in the Inferno Europe tour 2025.
Yeah, so they're going through Europe. Good on that, man. Who's playing with them? Does it say?
I think it's just them. No.
Maybe they're picking up local bands to open
Yeah,
up for
yeah,
them.
that's totally possible. But yeah, according to Google, right here. So June 25th, June 20. So they already played in Finland, Spain. Oh, they probably crushed in Spain for the Resurrection Festival.
Mm.
I wonder how people took that.
Yeah, they're all over the
UK,
country. Good for them, man. I'd love
Netherlands.
to see that.
So they only have like a couple, one show left, right? July 7th, and then that's it.
Yeah, it looks like they're playing
Yeah.
today in France and tomorrow in Italy.
Yeah, in Italy. Yeah. Wow, and they play on July 4th. Nice, good on them.
It looks like a lot of these are festivals also, or at least something
Which
like
is
it.
perfect. Which is perfect. They're playing the Japan Expo. Yeah, like that's how you do it. And we should talk about this real quick. I keep forgetting. Miku was just at the expo, the anime expo in LA. My friend Vicky messaged me about it. I was like, oh shit, I forgot that was happening this year. I really wanted to go to that. Completely forgot about that. To promote the anime, right? That she's doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember what it's called now. Something lady, something about a lady doing something. But yeah, man, I read that like it seemed like she was just saying she's super excited, but she was like really nervous about it.
Yeah.
But
yeah. She's eating some In-N-Out burger while she was
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's quickly assimilating to the American ways.
It's still the most overrated burger joint ever, but
Rock is a lady's modesty. Thank you.
Rock is a lady's modesty. All right, guys, that's the show for today. We'll be at full steam ahead next week with Shade, I think, because he's
full power.
I think he's going to be in Chicago. I'm not sure if that's in the middle of the week, but yeah, possibly. So I'm also playing a show in a couple of weeks. I'll put the details out soon. Playing another anime festival type thing with Kometa. I'll get those details out to you guys. But we'll see you all next Sunday. Guys, enjoyed the show.
Peace, everybody.
Next time we'll be live everywhere on Twitch, Rumble, and everything. Today we I was being lazy. All right. See y'all next one. See you.
Adios, my friend.